Welcome, Michael Fassbender. Welcome, James McAvoy, stars of X-Men: First Class.
That's brilliant.
That's it.
Yes. Yep.
These two guys are mutant and they're proud. You are the young
Charles Xavier.
9-year-old Charles Xavier who becomes Professor X.
Yes.
You know, just playing him forever from the womb.
Trapped in a 9-year-old's body.
To this, yes. And you are not yet the horribly evil, but getting there.
I don't think he
Magneto,
ever is evil.
No. Who's Eric.
I don't really like the word evil.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to use it.
Well,
because
okay,
I see a lot of
it,
evil.
and I'm going to shoot it down.
You can do it.
Because I believe he's got, you know, he's just got objectives, and then it's about how far he's willing to go to get them. And
well, we know there's a lot in the world that gives us examples of people like that.
Yes, and
starting with Charlie Sheen.
Well,
you know, yes. And
never two souls more alike.
I actually used him as a reference. You know, people were saying, "Are you going towards Sir Ian McKellen?" And I was like, "No, Charlie Sheen, dude, all the way."
It just is. It's so obvious when you see the movie.
Absolutely.
All this,
the winning element.
Sir Ian, Sir Patrick, Sir, you know, please.
Both of them like to win. You know?
Yeah.
And that's essentially what I sort of based it on.
It is. Winning.
Loser.
Yes, loser.
Anyway, who ends up in a wheelchair?
What have you liked about each other's other work before you've done X-Men?
His ability to remember lots of lines without the camera cutting is quite exceptional. That's amazing, man. I could barely string 2 lines together in this.
I remember sort of, I guess, the first thing that really sort of impressed me about James was Shameless.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And, you know, the sort of the scenes that, especially those sort of ending scenes with you and Anne-Marie, I thought were very touching.
Thanks very much, man. Cheers.
So, yeah.
Thank you. But in seriousness, I think his intensity is what is drawn to him because it's not forced. Some actors do intensity and they do it quite well, but you look at it closely and actually they're just like staring really hard. And what I love about Michael's work is that he doesn't try to be. It's just like an energy inside him, like a gyroscope.
So who is the real Michael Fassbender? I mean, we've seen him be Bobby Sands. We've seen him starve to death. We've basically seen him be Mr. Rochester and Jane Eyre. We see him playing. Now you're Carl Jung. You know, you're just you're young. You're analyzing people's dreams. And who is he?
I don't know.
After all this time, you don't know? After it took at least 4.5 years to shoot X-Men:
You know what?
First Class.
You're
It
so
did.
right.
And what? I mean, come on. We're trying to find out from both of you who you were. I could ask these questions. It'll be nowhere. But you both know about each other from this experience on X-Men.
Shall I
Who
define
the hell
you?
is he?
Shall I lay it out?
I think you should lay it all out.
He's ginger. He's
only a few people know that.
Not many people know that. He's currently blonde, however.
Not a lot of people know that.
He's a lovely fella. At the end of the day, lovely fella. No got a bad word to say about him.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing. And yet, you, a Scotsman,
There we
talking
go.
of a guy that was raised in Ireland, born in Germany. That seems so strange. Those two things.
What was kind of strange is the way you said Scotsman. You kind of went
I tried.
I kind of went half.
I
You
did
didn't
that,
fully commit.
which is why they did.
That's why I'm on top of you right now.
X-Men: First Class is just absolutely resonates with James Bond of the '60s.
Yes, that's right.
And you've got the hat on today.
Look, this is the most expensive audition for James Bond that I think you're ever going to see.
It really is, but you know, Daniel Craig has that.
Yeah, I know.
He's going to rip it out of his
Coming
cold
after
dead hand.
him. Coming after him.
All this talk about you and the James Bond, isn't that going to make him really, really angry?
I hope so, because it's when he gets angry that he's going to let his guard down. He's going to bring emotion into it, and that's a big mistake.
This whole idea of making, because it's set in the 60s. I'm again telling people who haven't seen it yet, that it 62. Yeah, look at that. It's because we still see JFK and we still see him in the Cuban Missile Crisis doing all this, taking on a lot of this. You got a little Patrick Stewart into it, even though, yeah, you have.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I made him English.
You did?
Well, he's American in the original.
I thought you were going to say you got a bit of Patrick Stewart in you.
Do you know what? I'm going to carry that about with me for at least 5 days, I think it lasts.
That's really good, because I only was hearing the On My Mark and a little bit of Picard.
We've got a super embargo on that. A little bit of Picard. Oh man, don't get me started. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of
You're a Star Trek fan?
I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm a fan of Jean-Luc. And also of when he played Stilgar in the Dune Chronicles as well. But I've seen him on stage a whole hell of a lot. I am a fan of
could ask you guys about, you know, were you big fans of the Marvel comics and read it, and you'll say yes, and it'll be a lie.
No,
I
we
bet
said
you
no.
still
We've
have
said
never
no many
read.
times. Wait, listen, man. We've said no many times. Ask us that question now. Go.
Yes. Were you really loving the Marvel comics of X-Men?
Never read them before in my life.
Never cared.
No.
Did
not
you
until I read the
bother
part.
either
I was
of
a
you
big
to
fan.
see
I was
any?
a big fan.
That's not true. Did you bother either of you to watch any of the other 4 X-Men movies?
Did you watch the original
It's in the
X-Men
ether.
movies?
Of course I did.
Did you enjoy them?
It's my job.
Did you enjoy them?
I liked 1 and 2. I loved 2.
Now you're lying.
I'm not lying.
You didn't watch them at all.
I watched them
You just get
completely.
somebody else to watch them, and then they write notes, and you write the
Our whole Connery thing
ghost
is-
reviewer.
That would be good, though. Yeah, that would be
a good
interesting,
idea.
but no, it just doesn't happen that way. No, I did. And then I had, you know, a little problem with the 3rd one, and then the Argent story, which I actually, frankly, thought when I sat down to watch this movie that it would suck.
This one?
Yeah.
X-Men
I
First
thought,
Class. Cool.
what are they doing? You know, why would they go back again after Wolverine just wasn't hacking it? So it's a big surprise.
So are you saying right now that you really enjoyed the film?
I
on
am.
Camera?
I am.
Nice. Excellent.
Nice.
Our work here is done.
Excellent.
It's just, I want you to bring this back to the film itself, which is key for what we're doing here. To talk about James's, in your opinion, Michael, finest minute, 30 seconds even, on screen in X-Men First Class.
Well,
What is that moment that resonates with you powerfully about James when you look at this movie? If you've ever seen it, I'm still not convinced.
I think there's a good few scenes that just made me laugh. I mean, like the humor. I thought you did a fantastic drunk.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah. Was
Fine
that
and
because you were really drinking the Yards of Ale?
I did drink the Yard of Ale.
But I thought drinking the Yard of Ale was supremely impressive.
Do you have a minute?
I do, for someone with the MCL1 gene, definitely.
And just, you know, the comic timing in general is like really, he's got it down pat. You know, you know when Jennifer comes in to the kitchen in the end, sort of in blue, and you're like, put some clothes on. I mean, you know, I thought that was excellent as well.
That was kind of nice.
Anya.
Really? So?
Anya. The return?
Yeah.
I think that the sexiness of his character comes across so brilliantly.
Thanks.
Not that I'm drawn to that, but it's just something that, a little bit, on Tuesdays. And that really like worked for me in the first, especially that first 30 minutes where it's just like a kind of espionage adventure story, you know. But apart from that, also just the emotional depth and the emotional quality to the pain and the torture and the angst that character is carrying with him. It gave me so much to play with, because my character is, you know, he's empathetic. He feels what other people feel. So it just made my job incredibly easy to play off of. In that scene where you're turning the dish, I mean, you know, it can get all a bit bromance and all that kind of stuff with the pair of us crying and stuff. But actually, it's really important that we go, this guy who's going to go on to become a megalomaniac and try and take over the world, if, you know, depending on your opinion. He's actually a very real person. He's been through some really heavy stuff, and I thought you nailed that, and ultimately that helps to fuel the entire film.
Cool.
Welcome.